This is Bill Appleton from DreamFactory Software with a short movie about Monarch, our data migration product. You can use Monarch for data collaboration, to take a piece of data and share it securely with other people inside or outside your org. You can use Monarch to load data into your account or to back up data that you already have. You can use Monarch to archive your entire account. You can also use Monarch for release management, to move data between a production account and a developer account, or vice versa. You can use Monarch for data synchronization, to update data that you move quite often. You can timestamp your data sets for historical archive or for trend analysis. Lastly, you can use Monarch to transfer data between various cloud platforms. This is extremely useful if you want to move platforms or if you just want to archive your data or need to share it with a partner. Monarch has some special features to make all of this easy. You can transfer data between orgs or between cloud platforms, and you can also transfer data to a desktop database or Excel CSV files for hand editing. You can move all of your data, or with easy-to-use filters you can move selected objects or a particular object and related children. Monarch lets you map the field values between the objects as you move them. You also have an option to scramble values, so if you want a developer account with example social security numbers or example email addresses, you can scramble those values when they're copied. You can create the schema dynamically on the destination as you move the data. This applies to pick lists and all the different fields that you might need. On the destination, you can reconnect users and other entities by name. Monarch also preserves all of the internal relationships of the data as it's moved. We can also synchronize data based on a timestamp if you move it often. So without further ado, let's take a look at Monarch. Monarch has a wizard-like interface that makes it easy to use. First, you need to select a source and destination org. You need to decide whether you want to transfer all the data, selected objects, a single object and its related objects, or DreamFactory specific data. Transferring all data is relatively easy. You just map the fields and confirm, but the move could take quite a while depending on how much data is involved. Transferring selected objects takes a little bit more work. You have to indicate the selected objects, map the fields, filter the data and confirm. A single object and its relations requires the same set of steps. And lastly, you can move DreamFactory specific data from one cloud platform to another. That's useful for moving the DreamFactory suite or for setting up a partner workspace. For our example today, let's just move selected objects. Next, you need to select a source and a destination platform. Monarch supports all the popular cloud platforms: Amazon Web Services, Intuit Workplace, Salesforce.com, and WebEx Connect. We also support a desktop database and CSV file import and export. For the purposes of our demonstration, let's just select the current platform. We happen to be on the Intuit workspace, and let's select a Salesforce account that we would like to move data into. I can choose a regular account or a sandbox account and authenticate. When I click the next button, I'll go to the next step, which is selecting objects. Now I get to select the objects that I want to move. Let's move accounts and the related contacts and opportunities. Normally you map objects from one account to another by name, and so you only need to see the objects that are available on the destination. If you want to map data between objects with different names, uncheck this box and you'll see all of the alternatives on the destination. Click the next button to continue. The next step is to map fields. You see all of your source objects here: account, contact, and opportunity, and all of your corresponding destination objects here. You can change a destination object with this menu. Most of the fields are already mapped for you by name. So for example, here's the contact fields and the opportunity fields that have already been mapped. You can unmap a field just by selecting that row and unmapping or remapping. And you can also map new fields that didn't automatically map. For example, do not email is a Boolean that happens to correspond to has opted out of email. So let's select those two fields and map them. You can also map these two fields. This text field, SS number, corresponds to Social Security number for the contact. Let's map that. Now, let's say that I was moving this data into a developer org. Then what I could do is right-click this field and assign it a random value. That would let our developers work on realistic Social Security numbers, but they wouldn't be actual Social Security numbers. So once you've mapped all of the fields, then you might choose to save this map right here, or restore an existing map that you have from this menu below. Also, in the destination object, at any time you can create a new field. So for example, I might create a new field that is a type of email and call it other email, and just like that I can make a new field in the destination object. I can select the corresponding field from the contact, map those two fields, and just like that I'm done mapping all of my fields. Click the next button to go to filter data. On the filter data step, we need to decide which accounts, contacts, and opportunities we want to move. For opportunities, we can select all, create a custom filter, or just get the children of the selected account records. That's the easiest option. Let's do the same for contacts. For accounts, we can select all or get the parents of either the contacts or the opportunities, but instead, let's create a custom filter. On the filter criteria screen, you can select any account field that you're interested in. Let's choose annual revenue, and the appropriate operator, let's say greater than, and you can either select a existing value from one of your accounts, or you can just type in any value that you want. You can then have any number up to 4 of these filter criteria, and you can and or them together to get the group of objects that you're interested in. If your filter returns too many objects, you can limit the results to a certain number of records by typing down here. At any point, you can show the sample data, and we'll see all of the accounts that we're getting ready to move and their associated contacts and opportunities. Let's go to the last step and move the data. So here on the last step, we see a detailed list of everything that's getting ready to happen, the source and destination orgs, and all the accounts, contacts, and opportunities that we're going to move. We're going to move 14 accounts. If there's some of those that you don't want to move, you can select them here and remove them from the list. 28 contacts and 27 opportunities. So this is a good chance to remove any data that you don't want to share if you're moving the data into a sensitive location like a partner workspace. This is a great option above. You can preserve any user links for owner ID, created by ID, last modified ID, or any user IDs across the two platforms. It'll match the users by name. You can also use this option if you want to merge any other related objects by name that might exist on the source or the destination. So when you're ready to conduct the transfer, just click the Start Transfer button, and we'll see it's moving the accounts, moving the contacts, and moving the opportunities. And just like that, it'll give you the results of the move, including anything that didn't work due to errors and everything that was actually moved. And at that point, you can save the report and go back and move more data if you're interested. Thank you for viewing our brief movie about Monarch, our data migration product. More information about Monarch is available from www.dreamfactory.com.